pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Mayor, before we move on with our agenda, I'd like to make a motion to amend it. I'd like to include as 4A the air packs for the Millersville Fire Department. That's a sole source item, and our job is to accept or reject that bid. And the other, as 4B, will be the LED lights for the Millersville Fire Department, Police Department, and that's a sole source also.
I'll second the motion.
Motion has been made and seconded to amend the agenda by adding 4A air packs for the fire department and 4B LED lights for the police department. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries unanimous. Item number 3, approval of minutes of the October 19th, 2021 regular commission meeting. Call for motion.
Move that we approve the minutes from the October 19th, 2021 regular commission meeting as presented.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion or corrections? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Item number 4, approval of the October 2021 financial report. Call for a motion.
Move that we approve the October 2021 financial report as presented.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye.
Item number 4A is air packs for the fire department. Discussion and approval of a estimate.
Move that we approve the quote and bid that is provided to us and to the city from Safe Industries. As I understand it, this is for the air packs that we've been needing now for 3 years. And as such, talking to Chief Head, it appears that we're getting it at the price that was previously quoted about 6 months ago, which is about $13,000 cheaper than what they're currently being priced at. So my motion is to approve and accept this bid for the air packs.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
I got one question. I just need to know what the shelf life would be. How long will this last, Mr. Fire Chief? Some of this, when we pass this evening, how long can you keep using these?
15 years is the life of
15 years?
15 years is the same.
Okay, thank you.
Did you have anything you want
Just one comment. We had previously discussed a purchase lease program for these items, but after further discussion with our auditors today and other looking deeper into the finances, we think we're going to have some additional revenues this year, so we're just going to go ahead and make the purchase without doing a lease or a long-term payback program. We'll just go ahead and purchase them for this year. The only thing that we'll have to do after our work session in December, we'll have a budget amendment. We'll do the first reading at that special call meeting right after the work session. And then for our second reading, we'll do that at our regular session in December. So that'll take care of the budget amendment to cover the full cost of the air pack so we can buy them all at one time.
Oh, okay.
to? Is there a need to have a special call meeting to do that?
We have to amend the budget.
To amend the budget.
There's only $72,000 in the budget.
I know
for the
that.
air packs.
No, I'm just why are we doing it on a special call meeting?
Just so we can go ahead and expedite,
Oh, okay.
getting,
Yeah.
getting the 2 readings done, before Christmas and go ahead and get them purchased
Before
Alright.
the end
before
of
the
the
first
year.
of the year, by the end of the year.
Can I make a clarification? I know that Keith had mentioned it was a sole source. We did bid these out, so these are the bids that were received. We didn't treat it as a sole source. We
Okay.
bid it out.
Yeah, I guess we knew it was gonna be a sole source. We bid them out anyway, just to make sure we were clear on the bid.
This was the only bid we got.
This is the only
Yes,
bid we got.
same as the LED tower. That was the only, but we did bid it out per the bid requirements. So,
The old air packs, what's gonna happen to those?
The old air packs, Chief Ed, we're just destroying those, correct?
I would like to see them go in the trash. They're no longer fit for us, and I hate to see them pass on to another department.
Okay.
It's someone else's problem. However, if you'd like to pack them up and sell them on go deals, we can do whichever direction you all would like to go.
I just don't cut them in half and sell them for scrap.
Yeah,
That's not good. The bottles are no good anymore. They were tested last in 2018 for the last time. They can no longer be hydrostatically tested, and the packs are 5 versions outdated, so.
Okay.
I was just curious, you know.
Yeah, it's a good question, yeah.
Anything further? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Item number 4B is the LED light tower for the police department. Call for a motion.
Move that we approve the LED light tower for the Millersville Police Department. I believe this was a sole source also, Mr. Manager.
It was a sole source, and it is on the GSA contract, but we couldn't get all that paperwork produced for us in time, so we just went ahead and bid it out. We did bid it, and we got this one bid back.
Okay.
Same way with the air pack, we got one bid. This was it. It's so we're plenty happy with this bid.
and the city can't purchase off of the GSA contract, only a state contract.
Right.
So,
Okay. I move that we approve this bid.
Second,
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Item number 5, first reading of ordinance 21767 to rezone property on Raider Road specifically identified as Sumner County Map 118, parcel 141.03 from heavy commercial rural residential to all heavy commercial. Call for a motion.
Move that we approve on first reading ordinance 21-767, which rezones property on Raider Road that's specifically identified as Sumner County Map 118, parcel 141.03, from its current heavy commercial and rural residential to all heavy commercial.
second,
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
The planning commission voted unanimously to recommend the rezoning of this parcel on October the 12th of this year.
I think Andrew provided us with a new drawing.
Yeah, we'll look at it for a second here.
This drawing has some changes, and this really has nothing to do with the rezoning, but it has to do with what is being projected to be placed here. Would you like to add some input on this?
Good evening. So the petitioner is here if you have any specific questions, as is the land surveyor that's doing the engineering work on it. They decided to move the septic holding tank to the south side of the property, further moving it away from the property to the north. They have gone through the process with engineering to meet the requirements of our stormwater ordinance. So if there's further questions, the petitioner can answer anything that you have.
Okay. One question I had was there was with your franchisor. Did you have difficulties with them approving the plans or?
No, not at all. And in fact, we have to go through a pretty rigid protocol as far as what we need to adhere to, being a franchise. So it meets all of their standards, and we're in the process of gathering all the permits that we adhere to in order to comply with those franchise laws.
And Mr. Rainey, you got everything worked out as far as the stream issues that we were talking about before?
We're protecting the stream with a berm, rock berm with the filterings, and the long distance we have from the sorting area to the stream is more than protected.
I have nothing further.
Anybody? Hearing nothing further, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Item number 6, approve the street paving list. Call for a motion.
Move that we approve the street paving list as presented by the city manager and I guess Public Works.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Let me just make a couple of comments. On this street list here, we've got several streets here that are quite lengthy, and we're going to try to start at the top and go down the list and get to most of these. And once we get the larger streets done, we'll start to pick and choose which street we think maybe is the worst of the bunch before we run out of money. Our budget is $400,000 for this project, and just so everyone knows, we've already accepted the Rogers Group contract, and we extended that contract based on our specifications in the very beginning of the bid last year. So that contract extension goes through August of 2022, and we'll be doing this for the same rate per ton as we did this last project. So that's all I have. Any questions on the streets?
Did you look into doing more work on roads and taking out?
Yeah, the plan that's in the process of developing is to, after this tranche, if you will, of roads or streets that are completed, we want to make a review of all the streets left in the city that require paving, and hopefully go out for a low interest note from the quotes that we've gotten back from a couple of institutions. We think we can get a low interest note for 10 or 12 years at 1.87, somewhere to maybe 2.1 in that range. And we feel like that we can borrow enough money to do the rest of the streets in the city now at the rates that we can purchase asphalt for, and pay it back with the street proceeds that we collect each year. That way we'll have the major project completed, hopefully, and most of the streets in the neighborhoods hold up pretty well. We think that those streets will last 15 or 20 years, so hopefully we could say by this time next year that all the streets in the city have been paved and they're going to be good enough for the next 15 or 20 years. And the street paving project will be over for a while.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So I'll bring that back with more definitive figures and timelines and payback programs as we develop that. But just cowboy math right now, it looks like we can do this pretty easily with the proceeds we get every year. We get about $200,000 a year, maybe $190,000, $200,000 a year. With that payback rate, we can pay that back in about 10 years.
240, I think.
240.
240. So, but I mean, there'll be other things in the streets that we'll have to do, but
We have
at
street
least this will
lighting.
pay that.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to bring that back to you at the next work session.
When are we looking at starting the paving?
So I'll talk to Rogers Group this week, but they've been out a couple of times. They are very busy. What they think they can do with the amount of streets that we have, they can fit us in. So I'm thinking sometime between now and the first of the year, early couple of months in the first of the year, they'll fit us in and get this done pretty quickly.
Sounds good. Anything further?
That's all I have on that.
Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Item number 7, approve and select bids for City Hall parking lot expansion. Call for a motion.
Move that we consider and approve a selected bid for the City Hall parking lot expansion that we've discussed at the work session and continuing tonight.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Again, speaking with Cedar Ridge, they're ready to get started as soon as we give them the go-ahead. They'll start to move dirt and take up the curb down below in the lower parking lot and start moving on the project.
They were the low and best bidder,
They were the low and best bidder.
and they also already did the parking
And
lot.
they did the parking lot that's
Currently.
right out front, currently out in front of
Okay.
City Hall. So they did good work and they're very reliable.
Okay.
How many parking spaces is going to be created?
We'll pick up 24 additional parking spaces.
So I guess they'll be going around the sign down there. Will they be putting
It
asphalt
won't go
around
around the sign. It basically all the way across the lower parking lot that's existing now. We'll have a parking lot butting against a parking space butting against it, and then you'll have the grassy area that encloses the sign, and then you'll start parking maybe 30 feet from the sign, and it'll go all the way to this road on the south side.
Good. Be good.
Anything else? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Item number 8, discussion and approval of Bethel Ridge Natelli Communities. Call for a motion.
Move that we approve what has been presented to us as the Natelli, or actually the Natelli Communities, which is approval of the Bethel Ridge project. And Mr. Natelli, I notice, is here. If y'all have any questions?
Any questions from Mr. Patel? Any questions?
I have not had an answer, and we're going to share it as well.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anybody got any questions?
No, I think he's answered all the questions we've had in the past.
Yeah, he has.
All right, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Item number 9, review and approve land purchase agreement with Stay Pro Investments LLC. Call for a motion.
Move that we approve the land purchase agreement with Stay Pro Investments LLC as presented. I think everybody had a copy of the contract.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, how long is this letter of intent or this agreement? How long is it going to be open? Is there a limitation on 30 days, 6 months?
Once it's signed, there's 45 days basically from the date it's signed. They'll have 30 days to inspect, and then after that, 15 days to close.
Okay. All right.
It's on page 3.
Anything further? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Item number 10, current fee schedule and proposed admin charges. Changes. Call for a motion.
Move that we approve the current fee schedule and the proposed administrative changes.
Second it.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Let me just, talk about this for just a second. There's been some, confusion, I guess, inside and outside the, City Hall on the fee schedule and the administration of, issuing permits and so forth, and we're trying to, really, streamline and consolidate this, fee schedule when the customer comes to the counter and pays for their permit. And we just felt like to streamline this, that we would put the new fee calculations all on one sheet, charging $1 per square foot to include all the fees, to include the building fee, the zoning fee, the sewer inspection fees times 2, one before and one after, the road maintenance fee, and there was a permit processing fee that we just deleted for the sake of rounding off to $1. That would simplify this for everyone, especially for those in City Hall who are inputting this into our iWork system and also into our Encode system. This would help streamline the process for the customer at the counter when they come in to pay these fees, that they get the iWorks receipt stamped, paid, and then we can do the administrative part of the work after the customer leaves the counter. So in the process of getting that done, we felt like that we just needed to bring this in front of the commission and make sure you understood we were making these administrative changes, that we weren't really raising or lowering this fee, but pretty much keeping it the same with a little bit of decrease, but kind of leveling the playing field and eliminating some of the confusion. Any questions on anything that we provided you?
Anybody? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in
Hold on,
favor?
can I need to say something now on this list, and I'm sorry. On the inspection fees, the inspection fees for the sewer go into the sewer fund. And I think, Steve, I don't know if you remember, you and I talked about, that should not be included in the permit fee. We probably need to increase the tap fee to include the sewer inspections. Because that's lost revenue for the sewer that needs to go back to the sewer.
Yeah,
It can't be combined in the building permit that goes in the general fund.
Yeah, and we had the state comptroller's office.
Yes.
Okay.
We don't want to lose that revenue.
Yeah.
So, I would reduce that from the permit fee and add it to the tap fee. And it's $175.
So 1,800.
So we would basically reduce that by about 10 cents maybe. Instead of $1 per square foot, it'd be about 90 cents a square foot, and then add that back, those other fees as flat fees. Does that work?
Is that the numbers we're using?
Let me get
Yeah.
out to the
I
calculator.
I don't know how the
Hey,
number
since
was
you brought this up-
calculated.
Since you brought this up, you do the math.
I've lost my phone. I think
Well,
it
it's
was
gonna be
about
$75 difference.
175, isn't it?
175.
No.
Yes.
If you take a dime off, that's gonna be $250.
Oh,
Yeah.
talking about the inspection fees,
So-
But it's not gonna work. It won't work that way. You can't do it that way. It will not work. What if the house is only 1,000 square feet and you take a dime off? You're only taking $100 off. What if it's 10,000 square feet?
Right. So, I mean, see, all the fees below the building fee and the mechanical and permit are flat fees. The rest of them were.
Well, do that. Let me ask this: what's these black numbers out to the side of these fees? That 10,3302 and 10,3500.
That's our accounting codes.
That's the
So why
accounting
can't just the whatever part of that $2,500 you want, put it in whichever line item you want it in?
Yes, yeah, if you code it to
Yeah.
it, That should work.
And maybe I was explaining myself. I explained myself that I thought that's the way we were going to do it. We were just going to pull those out. Can
So-
we pull those out of that fee, out of that and put them into sewer, even though we collect them that way? When it goes into Encode, can we not put those, that part of the fee into 3,400?
I don't think you can
I
do
don't
that.
think so either.
How are you pulling the sewer tap fee out?
Well, right now, we code it to the sewer tap, the tap.
So why
It
can't
has
you-
its own,
So
revenue
why,
code.
why can't you put them other two codes in there that has the sewer inspection fee times 2? Why can't you put that code in? Why can't you just code $175 of that $2,500 to that number? That's what you're doing with the sewer tap fee.
well, then you have to reduce the building permit fee to do that. We would have to have a different building permit fee.
I guess.
So,
I just don't understand why it has to be so damn complicated to take money. No, I mean, it's
that's the
ridiculous.
comptroller
You can put
telling
it.
us
You,
that.
Comptroller's
you can
office.
put. You can take that $2,500 and put it in any line item account that you want to put it in. Can you not? When I come to the window to buy a permit, I'm gonna write one check for $4,025. How are you getting the $1,525 out?
It's being coded to the 20,003,001 at the bottom there.
Okay, then why can't you code 175 to the 20,3400? If you can code one of them, you can the other
Well,
one.
the 1525 is not included in the $2,500 building
Yeah.
permit fee. But
It
the
is at the-
175 is.
They're all together. It's 4,025 at the bottom of the page.
They're adding this to.
I know what they're adding together, but they're adding these together too.
Yeah.
Well, by law, we can't.
Yeah, let me tell
we-
you, the comptroller's office, I've had to deal with them. They require from the very get-go that it be separated. And that's what she's trying to do, is how you separate this out and go directly into the,
That number right there is how
Yeah,
you
I
separate
know.
it out.
but that's not the way the state does it, I'll
So
tell
they
you
want to
that.
see it as a completely different fee. Is that what?
Yeah, that's essentially the
Well,
way they want to see it.
Well, I think if the $2,500 is the building permit fee.
And the sewer inspection fee.
Okay, you can't do that. You can't do that.
So-
what
You
you're
would
saying-
have to, we would have to reduce the 2,500 minus 175, and that's the permit fee. That's what I'm saying. And then the 175 can be coded to that number.
Okay, so
But it
what
has to come from the permit fees.
what about the road maintenance fee that's there?
That's not part of the sewer fee.
To my knowledge, we're
But
not,
it's got a
we're
diff-
doing away with the road maintenance.
It's got its own code.
It's got its own code, everything has its own
But
code.
we're doing away with those
But
road.
The state
maintenance fees.
requires a separate, completely separate
Like having security deposit
Sewer.
account.
sewer. And that's what, remember, we got in, they threatened to come in here and raise.
I do understand
Okay.
that. But what I'm saying is we're combining them all. How are you separating them out when the person that comes asks for the permit?
Well, you
is
can
paying
give,
the
you can
bill?
give one check, as far as that's concerned. You don't have to give 3 or 4 different checks. You can give one check and then she codes them in there.
So I might be able to shed some light on this. So when the invoice goes to be paid, someone has to enter an N code. They enter each one of those different accounting codes. So you write one check, and Deborah is actually putting money, each of those categories, into different accounts. So the problem was that I think there's 7 or 8 different line items or 7 or 8 different accounts. So
And we're trying
I
to
think that
simplify.
to try to make it easy, is to try to combine as many of those accounts as possible, so there's less work for the person that's entering it into the Encode system. So right now, in some communities, they have a building permit module that works with Encode, and then it's all done automatically. So the problem is our current building program, our data program, doesn't talk to it. So it creates all this extra work for Deborah, whoever's entering all that information in. So I think the city manager's point was we can find a way just to get all that stuff together to try to simplify it. You know, ideally, the perfect world, that'd be the easiest way to do that. So I think what an easy way to maybe do this is maybe, you know, next budget year, the city consider upgrading the the permit software that we use, so it's interconnected, and this problem goes away. You know, I think that's the biggest problem. I mean, yeah, there's a cost associated with, but because we're gonna be issuing so many permits, this problem won't get away. It's just gonna compound itself as we start getting all these house permits in. So I think, you know, this might be a short-term solution, but I don't necessarily think it might be the best.
That's not gonna affect the building permit fee and the sewer inspection fees.
It would not, because it would automatically go to the accounts.
Right.
And then whoever
But-
just takes the check and then that's it.
But either way, I mean, it really is irrelevant to this board how they categorize what, as long as we get the proper money for the fees based upon the
Correct.
fees that are in the outline.
Yeah, at the end of the day, all the money has to end up in all those different
I mean-
accounts, whether it's sewer,
Well, that's what,
stormwater.
right, but that's what I thought we were simplifying it,
Exactly.
and we're not using these numbers anymore.
Yeah.
That's going away.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one building permit
Yeah.
fee, 2,500, whatever,
Yeah.
in this instance, and then the tap fee,
Yeah,
and then that's it. But you're combining the sewer inspection fees
Yeah.
in the building permit cost, and you cannot do that.
yeah.
You have to have that $175, and my suggestion would be to add it to the tap fee, but you have to reduce the permit fee, or you don't have to reduce the permit fees.
No, we can
Well,
always
if
go
you,
up.
if you,
We're
if
real
you
good
add
at
it to
that.
the tap fee, you're gonna reduce it automatically
Yes.
by 7 cents. So if you take item number 3400 and move it over to the other side of the ledger as part of the sewer tap fees, you're gonna be lowering the permit fees by 7 cents, and you have, that make a difference there?
In this model, yeah.
In this particular model. In the model below it, you don't have,
The 170.
So, and just a little history, when the fee was changed back in 2018, they created all these categories for sewer inspection, inspect the connection, inspect the grinder pump. To my knowledge, those never existed before, and I think all that managed to do was create all these extra categories, so the Public Works Department could quantify what the cost of what the other guys going out in the field. So I don't know if that was even a necessary line item, but they created it. So, you know, if you say that the guy goes out and inspects the sewer, that's just part of his job. I don't know if you have to put a price or a cost on him going out to do the inspection, because hopefully you're recording every time they do a sewer connection and stuff. So you have that data, but I don't know if you need to put a number to what that data actually is. Because the salaries and everything are still getting paid on a budget is. So I think that's kind of, the more that some of these things just compound themselves, the worse that they seem to be getting.
okay. I'm going to withdraw my motion to approve this if Mr. Long will withdraw his second and allow the city manager and the city recorder to come back to us,
All right, we'll come back with,
I'll withdraw my second.
with a couple of.
giving you
Because,
instead of,
right
yeah.
now, when you're doing from 2,500 square feet to 1,700 square feet, you're on a sliding scale.
Yeah,
And on a sliding scale, in the current fee schedule, it works, but if you put it in a flat rate, it doesn't work.
yeah, it doesn't work. I'm looking, yeah.
Yeah.
So, we're talking about the difference between $1 a square foot and 93 cents a square foot. So if you wanted to accept that and get off the sliding scale and get to the flat rate, you could approve either one of those or anywhere in between. But still, to Holly's point, we do have to pull that sewer connection and add it to sewer.
Yeah.
Unless, like Andrew said, you guys want to do away with the sewer inspection fees, then you can do away with the inspection fees and leave it as it is. That's up to y'all.
Well, that's something we can discuss the next time y'all bring it up.
Okay, all right. We'll
So-
just bring this back.
So we're gonna struggle along with this big old wadded up mess that we have in
For
code.
one more month.
No, it's gonna be more than one more month. So we're gonna go on with the failing system that we have, and everybody's permits are gonna just be screwed
Well,
up.
I would prefer to not enact a new failing system until
I'm gonna
this failing system is taken care of.
Item number 11,
But
citizens' comments.
can
We're
I
done
make
with,
a-
no, we're done with that.
This has to be done by ordinance anyway, or resolution.
It'll just put it off another month.
But you couldn't approve this tonight. Is it by ordinance or resolution that we adopted the fees, Andrew? Do you know?
Resolution.
Was it by resolution? Okay.
Resolution.
Then it has to be done by resolution.
Citizens' comments, anybody? Commissioners' comments.
Mr. Long?
City managers' comments.
A couple things, the Christmas parade on December 11th is still coming along pretty good. We've got, Lisa's working on that along with the other department heads. It's still 1 o'clock on December the 11th. And, Holly, remind me again when the, company, the, city Christmas party is December the
Let's see, 16th
16th
At-
at the community
at
center.
the community center. Uncle Bud's is catering.
And,
and-
we'll get more information out on that. Okay. All I've got.
What about Thanksgiving?
Oh, we have an employee Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow for the employees and the commissioners on Friday at 11:30.
Motion to adjourn.
Move that we adjourn.
All in favor?
Who seconded that?
I did.